Hey guys, it's me, Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Season 12, Episode 20 review. So, in this week's episode, we sit down with Yandy Mendeecees and Mendeecees Jr., and they discuss him going to college, and he says that he does not want to go to college. If you do not know, he has a successful YouTube channel. He just moved out and got his own apartment. He's making really good money, especially for someone of his age. And he feels like I already have a clear path of what I'm doing. I'm making money. I'm not depending on you all. Why should I go to school? And Yandy sees where he's coming from, but she also feels like he does still need that college education. And Mendeecees feels like he wants him to go because nobody in their family has ever gone to college. And I get that, but this is just my opinion. I don't think that college is for everybody or that everyone needs to go to college. I think that with the way the world is now, that there's so many ways to make a career for yourself without having to go to school. I feel like for me, college is really only necessary for whatever particular niche that you might want for your career. Say, for instance, if you want to be a doctor, of course you need to go to school, or a psychiatrist, or a lawyer, or something of that nature, or architect, or whatever. But there are so many, like I said, ways to make money, and I'm living proof of that, and substantial money that can sustain you for a long time. And I think that Mendeecees Jr. has it in him to make a career as a content creator. I also think that he can make a career for himself as a model. I think if he moved to New York and really hit the pavement and start going to go-sees and things of that nature, and get signed to an actual model agency, I think that he would be a fantastic model. But he got to get out of Atlanta. Because if Jules Smith, Beyonce nephew, Solange's son, is modeling, I know for a fact that Mendeecees could. He has the face, he got the cheekbones, the hair, the build, everything. He's model size. He would be perfect. I could so see him walking down the runway for Louis Vuitton or for Tom Brown, and like he would kill it. So I don't know. I think give him the opportunity to do what it is that he wants to do. I get where Mendeecees is saying that nobody in their family has went to college or whatever, but just because that hasn't happened doesn't mean that he has to be the one to do that. Hell, you take your ass back to school. How about you be the first? Because it really wasn't about education. It was about nobody has went to college. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. That's just me. I didn't force my son to go to. Well, I did force him to go to college. Let me stop lying. But that was because he couldn't figure out what he wanted to do. So Kyrie went to school for 2 years, but he never got a degree or anything because he still couldn't figure out what he wanted to do. So that's why I say college isn't necessarily for everybody, and why put yourself in that kind of debt, especially if you're unsure, you don't have a clear path, and you just don't like school. You know what I'm saying? But hey, but later on in the episode, they talk to him about it again, and they ask him to at least go on a college tour. So he says that he will do that. As far as I know, he's still not in school or anything, so I guess he didn't end up going. Spice meets up with Amy and tells her about Bunny Rex, the girl that she is about to manage, who was messing around with T-Lo and cheated on her with KARLIE. And Amy in her confessional was basically like, Spice want to say that she don't be involved in mess and ain't on no messy stuff, but then again, you sitting up here trying to work with this girl. Don't you think it's kind of fishy? Don't you think she about to be on some BS? She was basically feeling like, I don't know, Bernie, like that ain't a good look. And she basically was kind of like side-eyeing Spice or whatever, especially since they just come back from London. And she says that Spice and KARLIE was trying to, figure out how to mend things or whatever. And it's like, okay, I hear you, Amy, but you don't know the gist of their history and the moves that KARLIE be making. Like, she really don't owe KARLIE anything, to be honest with you, especially if she is gonna keep it business, and not get involved in all of the extras. But KARLIE gonna do what KARLIE want to do at the end of the day, so Spice gotta do what Spice gotta do. And if she feels some type of way about it, oh well. So she tells her that her friend Ashley is coming to join them. And Ashley arrives and they sit down and talk about Zane and their fiasco of a marriage. And she talks about how he was in London flirting with other women and she's tired of it and everything. And Spice basically tells her, you're delusional. And she was like, damn, Spice. And yeah, ain't no damn Spice. You're delusional, bro. And she was like, well, Spice, I'm not delusional. And I'm looking at my screen and I'm like, you're delusional for saying you're not delusional. Like, ma'am, you are the spokesperson for delusional. And Spice was like, so what is it that you want? I just don't want him to cheat on me. Good luck with that, sis, because it's not gonna happen. And she had already told Spice about the situation with the paternity test or whatever, how it took them 12 years to do it, which was ridiculous. Like, girl, ain't nobody trying to listen to you. You're stupid. But obviously, Spice calling her delusional put a battery in her back to make a statement, I guess, to prove that I'm not dumb. Okay. Mama D celebrates, I think it was her 61st birthday or whatever, at her house, and Jock and Zane, Lil Scrappy's new bestie, came. And she talks about how the next day she has to have surgery on her lower lumbar. And of course she's nervous because it's dealing with the spine. She is a older woman. Anything could happen. The older you get and you got to have surgery, the scarier it becomes. I've had multiple surgeries in my life. And my last surgery that I had for my lumpectomy, breast reduction, was the scariest one ever. Like, I was a ball of nerves. I was crying hysterically. Have never been like that with any of my past surgeries, but that one, honey, had me a nervous wreck. Because I'm like, Lord, how old was I? I was 40. And I was like, what if I don't wake up? Like, what's going to happen? What if I go into cardiac arrest or something? Like, I had all of these crazy thoughts going through my head. But thankfully, I'm still here. Thank you, Lord Jesus. But yeah, I can understand why she was super nervous. Scrappy, of course, was nervous as well. Scrappy then goes inside, and who's sitting there? None other than Imani. That is a beautiful little girl. Like, she is so pretty. She looks just like her mother. And they talk about Scrappy's new baby. And she says that she wants to meet Shakira and the baby. He was like, let's hold out on that until the paternity test results come back. And she just looking at him like, ooh, you are a mess, a big ball of mess. And she was just side-eyeing her daddy. And he up here talking about he want her to be better. And I'm like, and not to make the same decisions and things that he's made. Well, I was like, well, how about you lead by example? You're her father. You're teaching her how a man is supposed to treat her. So you're like the first man in her life. You know what I'm saying? And you're not setting a really good example of how men are supposed to treat women. Ugh. But he know he a hot mess. At least he know. So Jock has Spice over to the crib to do his podcast. And while they're doing it, he brings up the whole Love and Hip Hop album after she mentioned it. He was like, you know what? While we're talking about it, I was shocked by the concept of the album. I'm thinking, everybody was going to have their own songs, but it was literally everybody was doing a verse to the same track. And she was like, yeah, because it's called what I forgot what she said. It's a term in Jamaica where that's how they do music, where they'll have multiple artists jump on the same track and put their spin on it. And he was like, yeah, I just really wasn't into all of that. And then he says, you tried to put me on a diss record. And in her confessional, she was like, wait a minute, because that's not what I was doing. He initially said that he couldn't do the record because he didn't have time, not because it was supposed to be a diss record. He could make the record whatever he wanted it to be, And so she looking at him like, now you lying. Now you lying on me. So she's trying to explain herself, and he cuts her off and was like, cut. And she was like, oh, so you can talk, but I can't. And she got upset and ended up leaving. And he was trying to call her back, but she was not fooling with it or whatever. They'll be all right though in the end. So then Zane, little teapot self, comes home to find Ashley packed up and ready to go. And he acts like he is so surprised by this. And she was like, I've been telling you, you act like you ain't been seeing me walk around this house packing up stuff and taking it out. I'm done. I'm leaving. And he was like, no, you can't leave. I'm not letting my wife leave. And this is going too far. Let's sit down and talk and all of this stuff. And so, of course, she stupid and she wants to see him grovel for her. So of course she sits down to talk to him, and she was like, I'm tired of you cheating. I'm tired of you flirting with other women. You go out, you don't answer my phone calls, you don't call me back, you stay out until 7:00 in the morning. And he talking about, I'm working. On what? Please tell me on what, because I ain't heard not now song from you since literally maybe 2004. So what are you working on, sir? Please tell us, because I want to know. I want to know, like, what were you working on, sir? Where is the money for your studio time coming from? Your paychecks from this show? Because you ain't have no songs like that people is clamoring to sample throughout the years, or that you're still getting publishing money from. Unless you was out here ghostwriting for other artists, I'm confused of where the money is coming from, where the funds are. Okay. And so he was like, you know what? I ain't got no more secrets. I'm, done with secrets. You know everything. And he was like, instead of you leaving, I'll leave. And she was like, okay, you can leave as long as you leave the key, because you ain't gonna be walking up in here any time of night. And he was like, here, you can have the key. And so she was like, okay, well, I'm going to leave. I need a breather while you pack up your stuff. He literally went and packed him an overnight bag. Had a book bag on his back. And I'm looking like, Ashley, you're an idiot, because the only way a man will willingly leave his home is if he knows for a fact he has another place to go and lay his head. He gave you the house key back, but you in turn gave him the key to the city to turn the fuck up, okay? And to be outside at any time of the day and night with other chicks. Why you think he was like, you stay? I'll go, because now I can roam freely and not worry about you being on my ass. And you wonder why Spice called you delusional. Girl. Then at the end of the episode, Sierra has Jessica and Bam over because they want to have a conversation with KARLIE, because the Bam didn't really like the way that she saw KARLIE moving when they was in London and all the things that she has heard about her since then. And so Jessica says in her confessional that she ain't messing with KARLIE no more, because even though she'd asked her to come stay with her at that apartment, she was going around telling other people that she didn't want her there. And we saw that. On the other half of, no, it was season 11. So yeah, I would feel some type of way. Like, don't act like I gotta be here. Like I need you. You asked me to come. Like, we're not gonna do that. So she says she packed her stuff up and she left, and she hasn't talked to KARLIE since. She's actually said that she was getting back into modeling, and I don't know why she ever stopped. Like, Jessica was the baddest. Okay, she was so beautiful, and like, she still got it. She still got the shape. Like, yeah, get back on the runway, girl. But anywho, so KARLIE arrives and Sierra asks if she wants something to drink. And she was like, no, I can't drink right now. You know, I'm doing IVF. And Jessica was like, girl, they don't stop me from drinking. Like, I still be drinking. And KARLIE was like, well, you know, you're not supposed to drink or whatever because it could cause blood clots and all of that type of stuff. And I was thinking in my head, and you wonder why you ain't getting pregnant. You not doing what you're supposed to be doing, girl. Like, make it make sense, Jessica. You want to cry about not getting pregnant, but you're not doing what you need to do to get pregnant. Like, come on, bro. But she says she doing things her way, so do it your way, like Sinatra. Okay. So, the tension was already there just based off that conversation alone. So then Sierra takes the opportunity to apologize to all of them for being bratty in the past, ever offending them, always making things about her, because she said, you know, she's been in counseling and she wants to take, you know, accountability for her actions because she saw herself last season and admits that she was being very defensive and everything. And I was very proud of my CC. Everybody, you know, was like, girl, yeah, we accept the apology, we love you. Okay. So Sierra was like, okay, well, at this point, can we all say that we're cool again? And that gives Bam the prompt to speak up. And she tells KARLIE, you know, that she was willing to work on their friendship until she'd heard things that KARLIE said, which she felt were utterly disgusting. And in her confessional, she says that even after they talk and squashed everything, that KARLIE was still doing interviews saying that she don't want her friends to talk to her man and all of this type of stuff, right? And so she looking like, what's that all about? I thought we squashed that. And then, you know, she didn't like the fact that she brought up Scrappy having another girl pregnant in front of everybody without telling her first. You know what I'm saying? She felt like that was fake. And I get that because, you know, they were like this at one point. Like, why wouldn't you tell me that before you just blast it off in front of everybody? You know what I'm saying? So, KARLIE was like, basically like, okay. She said, you can hold a grudge all you want. Like, she really could not care less. And KARLIE got that she can care less attitude because KARLIE thinks she up right now because she's married that Tilo dude and he got some paper or whatever. She can care less. She got a man now. She got her man. She got the money, the clout, you know what I'm saying? And she trying to have his baby. Like, I don't care how y'all feel. That's how KARLIE is moving right about now. She could care less about them hoes. So Jessica was like, she's talking about the way you handled the whole entire argument, KARLIE. Can you have a problem with accountability? And KARLIE was like, I was getting ready to take accountability. And Jessica was like, no, you weren't. And KARLIE was like, you have no idea what I was going to say. Are you psychic? Oh, wait, you know how to do IVF. You know how to do this. You know how to do that. And the band was like, oh, KARLIE, you don't say that. Don't say that. And Jessica looked at her and said, bitch, I will fuck you up. You know, Jessica give me, don't let the skinny frame fool you. Because she looked like the type that got picked on and had to show bitches. You know what I'm saying? I think she got some hands on her. So she all riled up trying to get at KARLIE. Of course, security jumps in and, you know, shields KARLIE and pulls her away. But, you know, she is amped and she is mad. And she had every right to be. Because at the end of the day, whether you agree with the way she's moving while doing IVF, the girl is and has had a hard time with pregnancies. And so that was a low blow. It really honestly was. But at the same token, the way that Jessica came at her was very aggressive and in a loud tone. So automatically she put KARLIE on the defense. You know what I'm saying? And she did that because she herself has grievances when it comes to KARLIE. But she didn't handle it the right way. You know what I'm saying? She really honestly didn't, because obviously she'd had all this anger and frustration built up, already. But yeah, I don't like the way she approached it, and then I didn't like what the comment about the IVF from KARLIE. That was wrong. So Jessica goes out on the balcony to cool off, and Bam comes out there to console her and everything, and was like, "You're right. Like, she ain't shit, basically. Like, she ain't shit." And Bam says in her confessional, Jessica has been so vocal and needing support going through IVF, and KARLIE should know. She's trying to have a keep a man baby at 50 something years old. And I was like, well, ain't that the truth, honey? Because KARLIE, if you don't get somewhere and sit down with them dusty, rusty pipes of yours, like, girl, you might look young, but you're not young. And you need to sit down somewhere. You're having a baby with a baby. Because I was trying to Google how old that boy is. Can somebody tell me how old T-Lo is? How old is this boy? Is he even 30 years old, bro? And you are married to this old bitch. I hope he got a fucking prenup involved. Cause we all know she gonna try to take the little boy for everything he got. And then he got a whole newborn. What are we doing here? And then I saw that the new baby mama gonna be on next week's episode. I said, well, they just bringing everybody. Okay. You got the baby mama, the ex. Child, KARLIE gonna get jumped. And she ain't got nobody to help her. Good God almighty. Okay. But KARLIE could really honestly care less, because she thinks she up right now. But as soon as she get dropped again, she gonna be trying to clamor to get her friends back. Child, can't make this stuff up. This week's episode, though, of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, it was a good episode. It wasn't as good as Miami's this week, but it was still good. I'm gonna give this week's episode a B-. Yeah. Y'all let me know down below in the comment section what you guys thought about this week's episode. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know when my videos drop. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.